Hi guys, so we're back today with another video, and the topic today is comparing the E36 3 Series to the E46 Generation 3 Series. And there's quite a few differences. Most notably, obviously, is looks. Aside from that, everything is pretty similar. They're both powered by pretty similar engines, both straight 6 engines. Of course, depending on the trim, but you really don't want either the E46 or the E36 without the straight 6 that you can get. Now, the E36, obviously, since it's older, is going to have a little bit more primitive technology, if you will. You could tell by the interior, which has almost a PC stack of an internal computer system. So, well, if you look at the E46, it does have a more sleek and modern design. You could even find some E46s having the option of a screen on it. I'm not entirely sure what trims they're on, but I believe they're also on the M3. Now, the E36, a lot of people consider to be one of the best BMWs ever made, aside from the E46, because I believe most people consider the E46 to be the best BMW, and you can contest about that, but I also probably agree. I have an E46 330 Ci myself, and I love the car. My brother used to own an E36. Now, they both have similar driving feel, but the E36, being a little older, is definitely going to feel a little more, what would the proper word be, rugged? No, maybe not rugged. Harder to use. It's not as simplified as the E46 was, as the E36 was definitely a more unrefined version, and it was BMW, like, after the E30 and the E32 and all their different earlier gens before the 1990s, trying to modernize their cars and find their way with aerodynamics and more different interior. Previously, BMWs all had the exact same interior, the 6 Series, the 3 Series, the 5 Series, all exactly the same, and now they're switching that up. So the E36 is the first generation of BMW trying to do that. The E36 is also the first generation of BMWs where most of their cars were dominated by the 6-cylinder trims. The 5 Series is 6, or I believe the 90s they canceled the 6 Series with the introduction of the 8 Series, well, obviously has a V8 and a V12. But most of the models now had a 6-cylinder in comparison to the E30 that were mostly powered by 4 cylinders. Now, for the E46, a lot of people also like it that since it's newer, it's more easily accessible, and parts are a lot easier to find than the E36. That's not to say the E36 isn't also pretty easy to find parts. The E36s are easier to work on yourself, as they're a little more simple than the E46 and don't contain as much electronics and sensors as the E46 does, but you could take that as a plus or a negative. Now, you'll definitely find more E46s around, as they were actually one of the most produced BMWs ever made compared to the E36, so they'll be cheaper and easier to find comparably to the E36, where a comparable E46 330 Ci will be about the same price as a E36 325, which, you're losing that bit of power that you're gaining from the 330. That being said, they're both very good cars, but the E46 does seem to be a more refined and easier car for first-time BMW owners looking to get into a BMW that's not too expensive and not too new. So I would definitely recommend checking out the E46, and if you're willing to look into it, maybe the E36 as well. Thank you for watching.